so today I'm going to be doing a kind of different video than what I would normally be doing. I'm actually going to be doing a bit of a more personal one, as you'll be able to see from the title. So just to give you a little bit of a background, I've been struggling with tummy issues for the past 10 years. So it has only found them 10 years to find out exactly what is going wrong with me. So firstly, as you'll be able to see, the title is My Endometriosis Story or something like that. So I'm going to explain to you what endometriosis is first, and then I'll get into my story side of things. So I'm just going to Google it just so that it's a technical version instead of my version. Okay, so this is what Google has said. Endometriosis is a disorder in which tissue that normally lines the uterus grows outside of the uterus. So the tissue can be found pretty much growing on your ovaries. It can make its way to your bowel. It's pretty much like, in a simpler term, once you have a weed that starts growing in the wrong place and you keep trying to cut out and remove that weed, it's just going to keep growing back, and it keeps growing back worse and it spreads. So it's like a really bad weed that you want to get out of the garden that you just can't get rid of. So that is what endometriosis is. I'm also going to explain to you what adenomyosis is. I still can't say it because I also have that. And again, I'll give you the technical term and then I'll give you my term. Okay, so adenomyosis, I'm so sorry, I cannot say that word, is a condition in which I can't say any of these words, endometrial, we'll go with that, tissue exists within and grows into the uterine wall. So adenomyosis, let's call it adeno for short so that you guys know what I'm talking about. How do I explain it? Adeno is pretty much like a chunky uterus. So I've got a very chunky uterus. I've got a uterus because it's full of all the lining and stuff in it that shouldn't be in there, and it's only going to get worse and worse as the time goes on. So that is kind of what that is. It's like a sister to endometriosis. Now, I am not a doctor in this at all. This is just everything that I've heard from my specialists and my doctors and everything. So I cannot give out any advice that is for doctor stuff, but I can be there for you as a friend if you're going through something similar like me. Okay, so we're going to start way back 10 years ago. So 10 years ago, I was in year 10. I was at a friend's party, I think it was around May time, and one day my tummy was just really sore and it just wasn't stopping. So then I missed a lot of school in year 10, and it's not because I didn't want to go, because I 100% wanted to go. I mean, I wasn't a big fan of school, but I wasn't that person who really hated school because I had really good friends. It was more the fact that I couldn't sit in a chair up straight for that long, and that is what I struggled with. And again, back then we had multiple hospital trips and things like that, not as severe as what I have had in these past 12 months, but we have had multiple trips. Every period I have ever had has been extremely painful, but that's just been the norm in my family because my nana apparently used to have it, and my mum used to get really bad period pains as well. So to me, that was just a normal girl thing. You'd get your period and you'd just be in so much pain. Like, apparently that's not normal though. So, in saying that, I don't know if my mum has endometriosis or not, but I guess she's never been tested for it because the only way that they can really test for endometriosis is through a laparoscopy, and she's never had one of those. So I can't say that it's genetic because no one in my family that I know of has endometriosis. It's just something that happens in your body that happens to some women, unfortunately. I think it's like 1 out of 10 women that it happens to. It started all back then. The doctor that I was seeing thought it was like reflux, and I was like, it's not reflux, like it's not that kind of pain, like I don't have like that burning, it's just my tummy's really sore. And I was like, I'm getting back pain and I'm getting tummy pain. Oops, Cookie's doing her little snort. You right, Cook? And so she sent me to a gastrologist, and he was lovely. He was very nice. He I had an endoscopy done, which is where they go down the throat with a camera and they're checking your tummy. And back then I think he found that I had lesions in my tummy, but he couldn't really tell what they were from. I had a barium testing, which is like where you drink this really gross milk stuff and then you go through this scanner and it does all this weird scanning stuff in your body, but it's just the grossest thing ever and I never want to have one again. He was pushing to do a colonoscopy, but at that time, because I know year 10 kids are more mature these days, I guess, or older than what I was very young for my age, and I was just not having anyone go near my butt. So that is why I never had a colonoscopy then. So I kind of stopped seeing him, because as soon as I'd go into the doctors or I'd go into hospital, they'd be like, but you're smiling. If you're smiling, you can't be in this much pain. And I'm like, I'm a nervous person. I smile when I get nervous. I laugh when I get nervous. It's just a nervous thing. And not to mention, you can still be in pain and smiling. People do it every day. Us girls do it every day. Us girls with endometriosis go and do stuff every day. We see people and we still put a smile on our face and people don't know we're in pain. So doctors that say you can't be in that much pain because you're smiling are so completely wrong, and just ignore anything they say because they are just incorrect. So pretty much what happened from then on was that a couple years after, I was still struggling with it. Definitely stress makes my tummy 10 times worse. So if I get really stressed to the max, then I get really sick. So what was it? I don't know, in 2012 when I was living in Sydney, I know that we had to go to hospital a couple times then for my tummy. And then in 2015, I had something else happen and I was overseas in England with my family, and I was pretty much in and out of hospital then with tummy issues, and I kept vomiting and like lots of nausea, and my tummy was just so painful. So my pretty much 8-week trip holiday in England was spent in hospitals and doctors' rooms. Sorry to my family. It was never diagnosed because I never kept following up or anything, because every time I would get a doctor say most cases of tummy issues and never found out what's wrong. So I was like, well, screw this, why am I going to keep doing testing, and why am I going to these doctors if they're not going to like help me? If there's no way that they can help me because they're just telling me that people have tummy issues, then I'm not going to do it anymore. Like, it's not worth it. So the last few years have definitely been, I wouldn't say better, but I'm definitely, how would I explain it? I guess I kind of got used to the pain, is what I'm saying. Again, it's something that people don't really know, but like, I'd miss work and stuff because of it. So my family have always known that I've had tummy issues, because that's just a given because I work for my family. My friends haven't always known I've had tummy issues. I'll be that friend that will always sit down, because this is like for the last 12 months, but I would always be that friend that would be sitting down, and I could never stand for too long. So when I was working in the shop at the family business, I would always put a stool next to the counter, and all the staff used to get the shits because I was sitting and they weren't, and it's like really hard to explain to people that I needed to sit. If I didn't sit, I wasn't going to make it through the day, and if I wanted to work the next day and the next day, then I still needed to sit. So I guess to them it looked like I got special treatment, which in a way I guess I did, because I was sitting and they weren't, but I needed it. So that's how I've kind of gone on these last, like, let's say 5 years since before all this happened again. So I've just every period I've just been in so much pain. I'd crawl up in a ball and I just want to die because it's just so painful. Like, I wish people understood how painful it is. So I think why I have gotten so bad in these last 12 months is because in February I got Campylobacter, which is a really bad bacterial infection that you get from food poisoning, and I got it really bad. Like, I went to hospital, I was sitting, I couldn't eat, I couldn't drink, like it was bad. And then they came back and were like, yeah, you've got it really bad and blah blah blah, but something else is going on. And I was like, okay, so what's the other thing going on? Because they were like, okay, just give it a few weeks, like you'll be fine. Like, your tummy will settle down. It just, Campylobacter sometimes needs like a few weeks just to settle down. And I was like, okay, cool, like I'm gonna go back to normal. Because my poor family, I was on holidays for 2 weeks and then I literally was in hospital on the Monday that I was supposed to come back to work. Sorry family. So I don't think that Campylobacter had anything to do with the endometriosis getting worse, but I think it definitely like aggravated it, because as soon as something happens in my tummy and it gets sore, it just goes really bad. And this is going to be so TMI, I'm so sorry. But like when you have like complete diarrhea, you're vomiting, like your tummy is being mushed around and everything. So I think that is what happened and is what made it so much worse, because I didn't get better after having the Campylobacter, and they checked me afterwards and they said I still got a little bit of the thing in me that says I have it, but I don't have it overall, if that makes sense. I'm not good at explaining things and I'm not a doctor. So the last 12 months I have had so many issues with hospital staff. So I'm going to say nurses are amazing. Nurses are probably the most amazing part of the job. Doctors suck. You have so many, so when you go to hospital, like the triage just sucks, because as soon as you say I've got endometriosis, you go down the list because they're like, oh, we can't help you. But at the start of it, they thought I had like appendicitis or something, so I'd get in a bit quicker. But it still was, I was staying in hospital for weeks at times. So I'd go stay for a week and then I'd be really shitty still and I'd be at home, and then I'd go really downhill again. So I'd go in hospital for another week and they still couldn't work out what was going on. And then I had this specialist who I was seeing because I was like, nah, it's not just Campylobacter, like I'm struggling, like it was like I was struggling like I was back in 2010, where just to the point where I can't sit up, I have to lay down. Like right now I'm exhausted and my tummy's bloating, but that's okay. We're going to get through it for a video. So I saw a specialist and I was booked in to have a colonoscopy, so I finally agreed to doing the butt camera because I was like, okay, I'm old enough, I can deal with that. Like I'm gonna be asleep anyway, then they don't really know me. So I went and saw him. Then he was like, look, since you've had the Campylobacter, I want to wait a few weeks just because like your bowel will be so irritated. And I was like, okay, that's fair enough, like that's completely understandable, like cool, I'll wait. I ended up going into hospital like 2 weeks prior to having the colonoscopy, and I had to be put under a different specialist that's a gastrologist because the other one was away and this was the only one at the time that would actually take me on under his wing. So then the miscommunication happened and the first specialist cancelled my colonoscopy. So then I had to ring up like in tears to my other place being like, oh my god, they've cancelled it, I need to have it, like I'm in so much pain, I need to just get this sorted. And they were like, oh my god, what has just happened? So then they were nice and they got me in pretty much almost like a week later. So that happened, I had that colonoscopy. Then I went and saw the specialist after I had the colonoscopy and he's like, look, I think you need to go see a psychologist, psychiatrist, whatever one it is, the way that they talk to you. And he was like, I think you need to go talk to someone because I haven't found anything in your bowel and I think it might be all just in your head. And I was like, oh my god. I was like, you have to be kidding me. I'm like, are you like literally shitting me? I'm like, I do not need to be told that this is in my head. This is not in my head. I'm like, I'm constantly like on the toilet either vomiting or the other end. I am like getting hot flashes, cold flashes. I'm continuously feeling like I'm gonna pass out. I'm like, I'm just not doing well. So then he put me on this medication and he's like, oh, do this and come back and see me in 3 months. So he pretty much put me on a medication that is brand new that is diagnosed for Crohn's disease. So Crohn's disease is another thing that they're thinking I might have, but they're still not 100% sure. So he put me on that. I was okay for about a month. So it kind of helped in a way because I was on all these medications and things like that, and I don't know if this was just helping in a way that it was kind of like a cover up or something, but I was okay-ish for a month. I wasn't great, but I was okay. And then next thing I know, again TMI, this whole video is gonna be TMI, I'm like completely like bleeding from my backside. So like just blood everywhere. In the toilet. Nowhere else, just in the toilet. So there is just blood everywhere. Me being me, I waited a week and it kept happening every day. Like every time I needed to go to the toilet, like not even pooping or anything, just blood everywhere. And then I was like, okay, I think I'm gonna tell my auntie and my mum, because I was like, maybe it's not okay. And my auntie and my mum were like, oh my god, you're an idiot, like you need to go to the hospital now. And I'm like, I'm not going to the hospital again, I don't want to go to the hospital. And then they were like, you need to go to the hospital. So I was like, look, I'll call the health doctor or the health nurses that you can call. And I was like, look, I'll just talk to them. And then they were like, you need to go to the hospital like ASAP. And I'm like, oh my god. So I went to the hospital. I stayed in hospital again for a week. Then again, still nothing, because they were like, it must be Crohn's disease. I don't know. And then I went to my doctor and I was like, I don't know what to do. Like, I need a new specialist. Just give me anybody. Like, that's really good. I just need a new specialist. So she put me onto the most amazing gastrologist person I've ever met. He is one of the only people besides my normal GP that 100% has tried to help me and listened and didn't think I was faking it. And I wish he was a gynecologist. Like, I seriously wish he was a gynecologist. But he helped me so much. So again, bad story, I was in Calvary and then they were just being complete dicks. They cut all my pain medication out because they were like, no, you're not in pain, you're just faking it. And I'm like, I'm not. I'm like, well, you might as well just discharge me so that I can go home and actually take my medication that I have been prescribed, because it's not like I'm asking you to give me extra medication, or I am but I'm not. But I'm like, I could be taking more pain medication than I am because you guys don't want to give it to me. Oh, I'm getting nervous about this. So before I went and saw him, so I saw that specialist and then I ended up back in hospital because I was in so much pain. Like, I'm just constantly in so much pain. I can't even begin to explain it. I went into hospital. The first nurse, like nurse doctor lady, she was great. She helped me so much. She got me a bed like as fast as she could. She got me pain medication. It doesn't really do much. Like, it really just, sometimes it helps, sometimes it doesn't. It's funny because I know a lot of the nurses now because I've been there so much. So I then had this doctor come see me, and she pretty much told me that I had anorexia and bulimia and that I shouldn't be in here because the hospital is for people who are sick and not for people who are making themselves vomit and people who just want to be skinny and lose weight and like all that stuff. So then I'm like, what? I'm like, I'm not making myself vomit. I'm like, I'm literally just vomiting. I'm like, I don't understand. And that's not the first time that I've had a doctor tell me that I'm bulimic or I'm anorexic, because they just decide that because I'm a girl with tummy issues, I've always been on the more smaller side, that they're just thinking, okay, this girl just wants to lose weight, she's got all these issues, she's clearly mental, like she just wants to vomit. I think she picked up on me being upset, so she was like, fine, we'll move you up to a thing. And then another doctor came and saw me, and she's like, my mum ended up being there, and I explained everything to her, what happened with that doctor telling me I was anorexic. So then my mum said to this other doctor, she was like, oh, like blah blah blah, she just told her she was anorexic, and she was like dismissing anything she said, she wasn't listening to anything she said, while this other doctor that was telling me that I was anorexic was standing right there. And I was like, oh my god, I was shitting myself. So this other doctor was like, no, something is clearly seriously wrong with her, like she needs to stay in. she can go see her specialist tomorrow and she can be admitted back in like straight away, there's no issues. And then the next day came and then I had a new doctor and she's like, okay, we're sending you home, nothing's wrong with you. And I'm like, oh my God. So I had to call my mum being like, Mum, I have to pack all my stuff, we're going. Like, I've still got my specialist appointment with that really amazing gastrologist. Then he ended up getting me into his private hospital because he was like, you seriously, like something is wrong, like so you are not well. And I was so grateful to him because, to be honest, if he didn't push it as quick as I would have never found out as much as I have. So he pretty much got me into his private hospital. He got a private gynecologist onto me who actually works in Kyralee hospital, but he's in a different hospital. So I had to go back to that hospital that they kicked me out of to see this gynecologist. So the gynecologist is lovely as well, but she didn't even believe that I had endometriosis at the start because she said my symptoms are not like endometriosis. And I was like, here I am, I don't really know much about endometriosis. I've heard it around, like people just saying, oh, it's to do with period pains, like infertility, blah, blah, blah. And I didn't really know much about it. And then, so she's telling me that, look, I don't think you have it, you don't have the symptoms, but something's definitely wrong with you, so maybe you need to have another colonoscopy. And I'm like, oh Jesus, I don't want another one of those. So she ended up booking me in like within, I think I saw her on the Friday, I saw her on the Saturday. I went and spoke with her on the Monday and I had the laparoscopy on the Tuesday. So she was still very good in the way that she got me in super quick. Like she was lovely in that respect. I had the laparoscopy. I didn't think anything of it. It was literally, I just pretty much went into it like super dumb, didn't think it was going to be as invasive as it was, didn't think it was going to be anywhere near as painful as it was. I wasn't even scared to go in and do it because I've been in hospital that much and had that many like stuff happen to me that it didn't even bother me. If I actually knew what was going to go on, I would have been shitting myself completely. But like my brother just picked me up and dropped me off. Like no one even waited with me in the waiting room because I seriously didn't think it was going to be like this big a thing. And then I wake up from the laparoscopy like screaming in pain. I have never been in that much pain before in my life. They literally were feeding me all these drugs and like putting everything into my IV that they could because I could not stop. And then my issue is I've got really low blood pressure as well. So that dropped. And then it took them a while to get me under control. So they finally took me up to the recovery where your family can come see you. So my auntie came to see me and I was just not well at all. Like I've never felt that bad in my life before, ever. Like I can't even begin to explain it. I know that other women have had better things to do with laparoscopies than me, but my experience was just horrible and I did not expect any of it. I don't know if it's because no one actually warned me. Like I didn't get that warning of how much painful it was going to be, or if my body was just like, holy crap, this is like really painful. But it was bad. And then I even said to the nurse, I was like, I don't actually know if I've peed myself or if I've like bled everywhere. Like I was like, I think I've peed myself. And I was so embarrassed because I kept crying because I was in so much pain, because I don't usually cry in front of people. And she was like, so she got me to stand up because I needed to go to the toilet anyway. I could barely stand. They had to get like 2 people to help me to go to the toilet. It was so embarrassing. And it was just like a pool of just blood, which is normal. That is apparently normal. So that's fine. That's a normal thing. I don't want to scare anybody. But this is the embarrassing bit. So they decided that they're going to keep me overnight because they were like, you are just not okay. And I was like, I really don't want to. Like I had my hair planned to do on the Thursday and I had my laparoscopy on the Tuesday. Like I seriously thought there was the laparoscopy, there was just going to be nothing of it. Like I just thought it was going to be the easiest thing ever. And it wasn't. So I had to wear an adult nappy because I kept bleeding. Like pads just weren't enough. Like I just bled and bled and bled. Recovery for that was really tough. Again, I didn't think it was going to be as hard as it was, and I would live alone, so I didn't have anyone here to look after me or get me food or get me drinks or anything. Like, I could not stand. I couldn't sit up in bed. I literally had to lay down, but you have the really bad shoulder pain, so all you want to do is walk around so that you can get like rid of that. But I was in like excruciating pain in my tummy, so it was not fun at all. I will show pictures. I was very bloated. So yeah, that ended up happening. She pretty much told me that I have endometriosis all through my stomach. My uterus is chunky. Endometriosis is like connecting my bowel to my stomach, like it's connecting organs together. Pretty much I've got it really bad, like it's through my bowel and stuff like that. So the endometriosis hasn't just gone outside my uterus, it's everywhere. So at the moment, still trying to work out how to get through it because the pain is horrible. I ended up going in probably about a month later and getting a Mirena put in because she kept recommending it to me, and I was just like, I really don't want to, but I will do it because if it can help me like live a normal life and get my pain under control, then I'll do that. So I had another DNC and a Mirena put in, and after that again I was in excruciating pain, so they had to keep me in overnight. And I think it's just because once somebody rumbles up my tummy, I am so sore. Like, I think it's because my tummy is so like, what's the word? Sore? I don't know what the other word. It's just, it hurts a lot. So as soon as something happens to it, the pain is bad. I've been trying that. I ended up going and seeing a specialist in Sydney. He pretty much told me that there's not much else they can do for me at the moment. I am on a waiting list to get into a pain management clinic so that I can try and get the pain sorted, because that is my number one thing, because I want to go back to a normal life, because at the moment I'm living not a normal life. I've pretty much been on bed rest for the last 12 months and it has been horrible. And he also pretty much told me that at the age of 25 I am going to need a hysterectomy. Not yet. I'm not getting one yet because I do want to have children. As everybody knows that knows me, I've always wanted to have lots and lots of children. So fingers crossed that one day I'm still going to be able to have children even with all these issues. I am really fingering crossing that. So he's pretty much told me I have a very small time frame to have children if I want to have children, because my body's just not going to be able to handle it. And I think so. I think that's the hardest part. It's one thing having pain 24/7, but it's another thing being told that now I'm going to ruin my makeup. So it's one thing being told that you have something, but it's another thing being told that like the one thing that you've always wanted you might not like physically be able to have. I did not think I was going to cry. I didn't even have anything to wipe my tears. And I got boogers. All I can say is that there are so many women out there that have endometriosis or adenomyosis and they have had children. So there isn't like, it's not like I have a 0% chance. So there is still a small chance. It's just that the issue is that because mine have progressed so much at like such a young age, that it's going to be a lot harder. But there is still that opportunity that I may be able to have children. Otherwise I'll find a way because I feel like I'm just meant to be a mum one day. It's really hard because you constantly have people asking you what's going on, and it's exhausting. It's exhausting being sick, and it's exhausting having people constantly trying to get information out of you. And I know that a lot of the people are caring and they just want like what's best for you, and they want to like know what's wrong and what's going on. But when people just continuously ask and you just keep getting like given back more and more bad information, or you're not really going anywhere, like it's hard. It's freaking hard. I'm so lucky I have the support that I do. Like I am so incredibly lucky that I have the family that I have, because they've been my like number one support people, especially my mum. My mum has been, as she's always been, she has always been my number one support person. And she is going through a lot as well herself medically, so it's, in a way, it's a weird nice, but weird bad, because we can forever FaceTime and stuff because we're both at home sick. So in a way it's like a blessing but a curse. Everyone else in my family, like they've been so supportive. I have the most supportive boyfriend. I don't know how he still sticks around through it all, because like this is draining. This is like emotionally and physically draining. So at the moment my emotions are up and down. As you can see, I'm not a crier, but I'm crying because it's hard. And it's hard to deal with, and it's something I'm dealing with right now. But I wanted to come out and talk about it because it is Endometriosis Awareness Month. So I want people to know that yes, it may take a long time to find out what's wrong with you. If you are having really bad periods, go see a gynecologist. You might not have endometriosis, but if the pain is that bad and you're a female, go see a gynecologist and just ask them about endometriosis, because it's 1 in 10 women that have it. Like a lot of people have it and they don't know. So you're going to go through stages. So there's like, I think there's 4 stages of endometriosis, 4 being the worst, that it's like through all your organs and bowels and things and stuff like that, and 1 being like you've got a little bit here and there but like you can still take it out. Regardless of the stage that you are at, being stage 4 doesn't mean you have worse pain than stage 1. Being stage 1 doesn't mean you don't have any pain. Don't let anybody tell you because of the stage that you're at that your pain doesn't matter, because your pain matters. If you're at stage 1, you can have worse pain than a person at stage 3 or 4 can. Or if you're at stage 4, you can still just have as bad as pain. Some people have stage 4 and they don't even know they have endometriosis. Like, it is such a thing that's, in a way, it's really sad, because it's such a huge thing that takes over your body. Like, it's been found in people's lungs. I think someone said that it was found in someone's brain. And if it's getting to parts of your organs like that, like they are major organs that you need. And it still like baffles me how there isn't a cure for endometriosis. Like there is a band-aid effect, which is what the Mirena is and what any other like contraception form is. Like that's a band-aid effect. But it still goes back, and it's always going to go back until there's a cure. And we need a cure. Because we can't keep living like this. It's too bloody expensive, I know that much. Like, and I'm lucky I'm in Australia, but even being with the healthcare, if I didn't have my family to help support me, I would be absolutely stuffed. Like, I am so incredibly lucky to be one of those people that actually have a family that can support me through all this. Because if I was to do it by myself, there's no way. I wouldn't get an income, because at the moment I haven't been able to work for 12 months, but my family is still paying me because they are just seriously the best people in the world. And secondly, they help me pay for my medical bills, because even though I'm getting an income, it's still way more than what I could even earn in a year. Like, it's just insane. So I just want people to know that if you are going through something, then it's okay to feel it in pain. It's okay to have those days where you just want to be in bed and you don't want to talk to anybody, but still try and push yourself to kind of do things, because I keep trying to push myself to see my friends. Like, I don't go out and do stuff, but I'll go to their house in like my sweatpants and stuff. Like, I'll just rock up looking like a dag, because I still need that social support, even if we're not talking about me, because I really don't like talking about what's going on with me. But to have that support where you're just getting information from other people just about their lives, just other things that is going on. Because if you're like me and you're pretty much living in your house, I'm in my bed like almost 24/7 because of the pain. Like, you need to get out of these four walls and you need to go do something, even if it means your friends coming over for pizza, or you watching a movie with your boyfriend at the cinemas and bringing like a heat pack. Like, you just gotta get out of the four walls, because that's one of my hardest things, and I'm still working on that. Because I've definitely not been the best friend this year, because I have just been in such like a bad headspace, and when you're so sick you just don't want to see anybody, but you still definitely need to try. So if you do have a chronic illness, I am so sorry. Like, I am so unbelievably sorry. It sucks balls, but we are all going to get through it, and we will get through it. We just need the support of others and to support each other, because it is such a shitty disease, and whether you have endometriosis or something else, that it all sucks. Like, it sucks. And I wish there was a cure for everything. So let's just stick together and try and get through this, because I definitely need a way to get through it. Okay, and I'll probably do an update video, I don't know, maybe in 6 months time, letting you guys know how I'm actually going, because I am still on my roller coaster being bedridden. So we will see how I go in the next few months. But if anyone would like to talk to me, please message me. I would happily be there for you, as you are for me right now. So thank you. Alright, I'll see you guys later. Bye.